Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Tuesday, October 21st. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
It's a sound synonymous with the Blue Jays' home games.
Go Blues! Here we go.
Legendary drumming busker Rick Donaldson, better known to most as Rockin Rick, dates back to 1989, but it almost ended before it began.
The first time we came, we got kicked off the property, and it was kind of funny. And but the second time, fortunately for us, the right person saw us and saw what it was about.
And the rest is history. Busking outside of the Dome for the past 36 seasons, he has been an integral part of the hype on game day.
I know I've performed for over 1 million people, for sure. You know, and I just want to thank the fans, my family, and the fans. And the fans, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Keeping the beat back in 1992 and 1993, he knows what it's like to celebrate a Blue Jays World Series win.
I've been here before, but when I walked in the building last night and heard the crowd, I knew right then and there. I'm like, whoa.
But this run to the big show hits a little different. Rockin Rick says he's retiring after this season.
With the Blue Jays organization, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it's time.
Always playing to the beat of his own drum, some of his favorite moments have been with the fans, rocking out with Rockin Rick.
I love Rockin Rick. Every time we come, he always brings up the vibe. And it's like whenever you win, it's like you got a little bit of his vibe.
My favorite part is my interaction with the fans. You know, it's more fans pumping them up, you know, getting them ready to cheer hard inside.
As for what's next, Rockin Rick says he has no plans of slowing down and will continue touring as a musician right across Canada. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
We have two different kinds. We have a ration book 5 and we have ration book 6.
It's the last thing Sherry Laurent expected to find when she picked up a couple of old books from a church sale in St. Lambert, Quebec, more than 30 years ago.
I can't remember if they were all in one book or maybe in 2 or 3 books, and I just noticed them and I thought, oh, I'll take these books.
Tucked between the pages, pieces of history frozen in time.
This one was the newer version. It has a couple more pages.
They were ration cards issued to Canadian families during the Second World War when things like sugar, meat and butter were strictly limited to help stretch supplies and support the war effort.
My parents are both deceased, but they, lived through the war and that sort of thing. So I've heard about them, but I had never seen them in person.
For years, she kept them on a shelf before moving to Ottawa, where they sat in a box until recently when she came across them again and wondered who did they belong to. So she turned to Facebook, posting a few photos and a name.
Within minutes, I had a couple of people, hey, I know that family, I could put you in touch with somebody. So it literally took less than an hour.
Her search led her to Ian Keeler in Brossard, Quebec, the grandson of Don and Agnes, known as Nessie Keeler. The names written on the outside of the books, which also belonged to his father and uncle.
The part is really interesting. I'm a very big interested in my genealogy. So I was very, very keen to get those ration cards because to me it added another piece of the history.
He says his grandfather had immigrated from Trinidad, served in the First World War, and married his wife in Scotland before the couple settled in what's now St. Hubert, Quebec.
It's a lot harder to find stories and the links to the past when the people are no longer with us. You've got to go with little bits and pieces of paper you find in books.
Now Ian's sister plans to meet Sherry in person to collect the ration cards, a small act of kindness closing a chapter roughly 80 years in the making.
That book has 2 stories. That is the original story of the book and also the story of the World War II ration cards. And I think that's just very, very, very interesting.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
It's October 20th, but along the Cabot Trail, Mother Nature's annual show of reds, yellows, and oranges isn't over quite yet.
This year, it's been off the charts. We are hearing from everyone that the colors are more vibrant and more exciting than they've been in years.
Dan Coffin is the owner of this inn and bed and breakfast just outside of Bedeck. He says the fact the fall colors really seem to pop this year and have been hanging on to their beauty for a few weeks now has helped bring in plenty of customers before things get quieter when winter sets in.
We've been running probably a 90% occupancy through September, October.
Yeah, today's our last day. It's a bit bittersweet.
At this cafe on Bedeck's main street, the place was packed at lunchtime before they shut down for the off-season. They say that a few signature events built around the fall tapestry has kept them busy as the temperature has dropped lower.
One of the beautiful things about Cape Breton is the extended tourism season. I think events kind of like Celtic Colors and the Cape Breton Food Truck Rally have really helped businesses like ours extend that season, allow to keep your staff on for a little bit longer.
Of course, back in the summer, during the weeks on end of drought that we experienced, some figured that this year, as a result, the fall colors would be, well, a little underwhelming. But that didn't really turn out to be the case after all.
Yeah, I think that we were all happily surprised with the colors this year, and I know that the first thing I'll do tomorrow is start going around the Cabot Trail myself.
Anyone else with the same idea had better do it soon, though, since these colors will be gone before long, though some agree that it isn't necessarily too late.
It's not over yet. The colors are still flowing. There's still a lot of colors out there to be found.
A last chance to enjoy nature's beauty before it's just a memory for another year. Ryan McDonald, CTV News in the Cape Breton Highlands.
It is a well-worn piece of film, but this image represents the first time a traditional 70mm movie has been shown in London for decades. It's coming from this 60-year-old camera, capable of playing both 35mm and 70mm films.
I've been working on this one for about 5 years, rebuilding it, getting all the parts for it. The parts are what's hardest to find.
For Vic, bringing back 70mm film is a passion.
It's the splendor of 70mm, they used to say. Because of the larger frame size, the image on screen is so much brighter, you can put so much more light through it.
Until the advent of digital, 70mm was the gold standard.
Back in the 70s and 80s, it was what IMAX is today. Like, it had that status.
But as time advanced, prints were lost. Then, just as vinyl records reappeared, theater audiences of all ages suddenly wanted to see classic films the way they were presented.
A lot of the indies in Ontario are putting their projectors back in because there is demand for that, seeing film.
There's no video stores anymore, and you have to join 10 streaming sites to get whatever movie you want to watch. And now everyone's like, I'd rather see that on the big screen.
The debut of the 70mm projector and the first film will not happen here at the Highland until January. Already, there is a long wish list.
2001: A Space Odyssey, Ben-Hur, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Lawrence of Arabia, The Sound of Music, big epics.
That's not to mention the movies of today. Major film directors are demanding that studios release their projects in 70mm. That reality will put more people in the seats at the Highland, which will now be the only 70mm screen in this region.
Without having to drive hours, spend the night in Toronto, and even try to fight for a ticket.
But with original prints hard to come by, the flicker of the test screen is all classic buffs have for now. But Vic contends even this image is a welcome sight.
There are qualities to film projection that totally blow away digital.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
He's one of our dogs from the community.
This is Bowser. For dogs like him, living outside year-round is the reality, even during harsh Alberta winters.
A lot of the dogs that are out there, can't survive winter without any shelter or protection, and with a lack of resources available out there to them.
The Paws Up program is doing what they can to help out before the snow starts to fall.
We build dog houses and provide them for those that need them.
This weekend, they delivered 26 shelters for dogs living outdoors in Indigenous communities. Each house is insulated and filled with straw, giving each pup enough warmth to get by.
We have actually had one of our community members' dogs give birth in one of the dog houses in the wintertime. So luckily, all her babies survived because we were able to provide the shelter for them.
For volunteers helping out, that's what drives the hard work.
I just want them all to get homes. If I had an acreage, I'd probably have 20 dogs on it.
Paws Up Vice President Kirsten Yakimowicz says these shelters are a drop in the bucket when compared to how many dogs need them.
We could probably build 100 dog houses, and it still won't be enough.
This is the program's third consecutive year building and delivering dog houses. Yesterday, dogs on Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation and Paul First Nation received their fetching new homes.
I love seeing the dogs get new homes too. It's very rewarding sometimes to see them find their homes.
Paws Up also provides grooming and vet care in the communities, as well as feeding hundreds of dogs and dozens of cats through its weekly Meals on Wheels program. Sasha Pietramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Store aisles with skeletons can only mean one thing. It's Halloween. But the most haunting thing this year might be the prices.
Candies like for kids, Halloween, it's getting hard.
From pharmacies to grocery stores, we set out around Montreal to check the price of one of the best sellers, assorted Nestle chocolate treats. The same box of 50 before tax ranged from $8.97 at Walmart to $11.99 at Jean Coutu.
J'en achète pas. C'est pas bon pour la santé. C'est pas bon pour les dents.
According to the 2025 Halloween Treat Cost Report, Canadians will spend 10 to 20% more on candy this year. And that's not necessarily because we're buying more. Sylvain Charlebois of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab says the real problem is shrinkflation.
The costs of inputs for manufacturers have gone up, like cocoa, for example, for chocolate. And so that really has pushed a lot of manufacturers to shrinkflate their products. So bites are much smaller, or pieces are much smaller, which tends to push households to give more.
And those who buy in bulk may not be getting a better deal. We found boxes of 100 Nestle chocolate treats for $28.99 before tax at a Jean Coutu. Prices for the same product were lower at other stores, $17.97 at Walmart and $16.99 at Pharmaprix. We stopped at an IGA, but as of Sunday, they hadn't yet stocked their Halloween display.
Deals are sparse at the grocery store, I would say. Looking at what's going on right now, you're probably more likely to save money if you buy Halloween candy at a pharmacy or even at a dollar store.
Charlebois says increasing packaging and freight costs are also contributing to rising prices. But Montrealers say this may be a good time to consider candy alternatives.
I give more fruits or money for a good cause.
It's a good opportunity to have less chocolate and appreciate what you have.
And to avoid getting spooked at the checkout, it's worthwhile to shop around. Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
Time she saw the unexpected guests, Cheryl Mason was shocked.
Oh my goodness, they're here right in our backyard.
Mason and her husband captured this late night heist from their front drive in Douglasdale to their backyard pear tree.
They were up in the tree. There was 4 of them up there.
5 years ago, it was a rare sight, but these days, raccoons aren't so uncommon in Calgary.
There's probably multiple factors that are leading to it. We are seeing milder winters, which might be helping them shift their range into new areas. And they also are coming from other areas. We know sometimes they end up on transport trucks and they end up here.
The city of Calgary does not track exact populations, but wildlife cameras over the last half-decade have increasingly caught the raccoons in places like Fish Creek Park and Weaselhead Flats.
They are finding ideal habitat in there. Those old spruce trees are creating excellent denning sites, and they're also finding lots of food in the park and also in the surrounding neighborhoods.
Which isn't always a good thing. Raccoons populate quickly and have a tendency to go where they're not wanted.
2014 to 2015, I caught 2. This year, we had about 40 calls for raccoon.
This pest control crew has responded to dozens of damaged homes as the animals look for food and shelter.
Sometimes people say, I thought there was somebody in my attic. I've seen them like ripping insulation and go in the wall, scratching through it, and it's like it makes a mess.
So the message to Calgarians, especially those close to green spaces, is simple. Secure your trash and call experts if you start to sense a problem. Feel free to snap a few photos too. Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
A few years ago, Joe Beckson was bit by the cornhole bug.
I've been playing for a little over 2 years, along with some of my family members. So we've been traveling to Regina and Saskatoon to their leagues to play.
Before September, Prince Albert's avid cornhole players needed to go out of town to play tournaments. Bexon decided to take matters into his own hands and founded the Boreal Cornhole League, which is now active in Prince Albert's city limits. The league first got together in the Legion basement on the last Thursday of September and has met every Thursday since.
Been between 25 and 30 players each night, and we're open to all ages. So we've had 12-year-olds right up to seniors.
Bexon's 15-year-old granddaughter Taya is one of the younger members, and she's happy to have a league close to home.
It's more playing time for me, less traveling to like Saskatoon or Regina, so it's useful to play here.
She thinks cornhole is a good way to meet new people.
Just the people are really nice. They're really easy to talk to. It's a good community.
In cornhole, points are scored by throwing beanbags at a board across the room. Landing a bag on the board is worth 1 point, and a beanbag that goes through the target at the top of the board is worth 3.
There's a core group that are consistent in coming out, but we've also got a number of new players showing up each week, and as the word spreads, more people get interested.
Bexon shared that the Regina Cornhole chapter helped the Boreal Cornhole League get up and running. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
So here we go, Dawson Hodge to kick it off.
They went into their final game of the regular OUA season as 2 undefeated teams.
Testament to Laurier, they came in here.
They played
in front of a home Western crowd.
The Laurier Golden Hawks showing authority with a blowout, 60-13 win over the Western Mustangs.
We'd be the first to admit we didn't draw it up that way. We didn't expect to put up 60 points on Western and have that dominating win, but just so proud of our players, right? In all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
The win also guarantees the Golden Hawks a bye in the first round of playoffs.
Having that extra week where we can get guys healthy, where we can work on some other things to get prepared for our long playoff run is what we're going to do.
The victory also coming with the help of former Laurier quarterback Taylor Elgersma, who has since had some time with NFL teams and is now an assistant coach with the Golden Hawks.
It just speaks to the character of the guy that he went from throwing a touchdown pass at Lambeau Field in Green Bay to now being an assistant quarterback coach with us.
A role model for current QB Callum Wither, who leads the OUA in touchdown passes.
Being able to have someone that's been in my position, has done it all, that I'm striving to reach and say, hey, what are you thinking on this play? What's your read? What are you doing here? And have a guy that can help me with that, it has been very great. I'm very grateful for.
Ryan Hughes caught 2 touchdowns on Saturday and says it's all about trusting the process.
You go to work every day and you put your head down, let the scoreboard do its own thing, and at the end of the game, we'll look at it and we'll see what we did.
The celebration will be short-lived, with the players keeping their eyes on the prize.
The Yates Cup, the Ontario Championship, is the first one. Going back-to-back would be outstanding for that. And then the Vanier Cup, we've only won twice in our program history.
During the first round of playoffs, Western will take on the Guelph Griffins, who earned their spot this past weekend. Ottawa will face Windsor, and McMaster will take to the field against Queens. After all those games are done, the Golden Hawks will host the lowest-ranked team on November 1st, right here at University Stadium. Kara Smapp, CTV News, Waterloo.
Go listen to this song.
The lights are low, the air feels thick tonight.
It's called Velvet Desire by an artist named Nymphox. Now, listen to this.
You're carved from chaos, goddess in lace, and I swear.
This is Velvet Vice, a song released by Jody Lang and her husband, going by Hexa Moon. Their music is regularly uploaded to a number of streaming platforms, but this is first time Lang feels like AI may have stolen her talent.
I find that a lot of the similarities are between the track titles and the songs.
Lang alleges Nymphox used some of her own made-up language for their songs.
My voice singing a song I never wrote and I never sang, and it absolutely terrified me.
That's something Nymphox strongly denied. In an email, the artist says, in part, quote, no real human voice was used, cloned, or replicated in any part of Nymphox's work. David Gerhardt, computer science professor at the University of Manitoba, who could not comment on this specific case, said in general, the line between original work and AI is blurring, but proving it and preventing overlap is not easy.
The problem is that AI is so ubiquitous, it's difficult to constrain those kind of behaviors, and so people then have to use legal means as opposed to technical means to do that.
Lang filed complaints to a number of platforms. An email from Spotify said they would take down NymFox's track as a preventative measure. CTV News did not hear back from Spotify. Lang says the whole thing is disappointing, but it won't stop her from putting out content.
Go out and be the best you that you can be.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
21.1 kilometer race, and it comes down to 2 seconds. That's, down to the wire.
A year after finishing fourth in the half marathon, Corey Bellemore took a different approach to win this year's event at the Detroit Free Press Marathon.
The goal was to be as patient as possible, so I was in the lead pack till 800 meters to go, and then I put a hard move into the win.
On a windy, dreary day, Bellemore stayed in the lead pack and let those out front absorb the brunt of the weather. He took off down the stretch, figuring he might be the only one left with gas in the tank.
Didn't look around, anything. It was just, as soon as I got the lead, I just, stay forward to the finish line and then, end up being tighter than I thought.
His strategy worked, with Bellemore able to rebound from last year's fourth place finish in a race he led for a majority of the time.
It's a race I watched growing up, worked at the water station, so it was cool to come back from last year.
The Free Press Marathon took a scenic tour of downtown Windsor, going from Riverside Drive, turning onto Ouellette, going down University Avenue, around City Hall before runners made their way back into the tunnel to Detroit. Now, a city official tells me that route will remain.
It's nice to see a close friend of mine and a coworker win it.
Bellemore was a winner, but his coworker, Christy Ireland, was a champion. With the approval of her doctor, she ran the half marathon 7 months pregnant.
I'm due in January, so it's time to shut it down now and get prepared for a whole other marathon, which is childbirth and having a kid. So, it was nice to go out with a bang.
While Ireland moves into the next stage of her pregnancy, Bellemore plans to continue his growth as a professional triathlete. He is enjoying competing in half Ironman and half marathons.
Right now, I'm happy with the half distance of everything, but I'm sure in the next probably year and a half, 2 years, I'll move up.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Kelly Podlubny was growing up. His dad would play Santa Claus.
He was a very jolly individual. That's where I got all my joy from.
While there were a whole lot of ho-hos, Kelly's childhood was filled with even more ha-has.
That really taught me that it's okay to have joy in my life.
But then Kelly's life took a couple unexpected turns, and along the way, he lost that joy.
I like to describe myself as being a shadow of a person.
After hitting his rock bottom and finding the courage to get help, Kelly happened upon a video about the health benefits of laughter.
And she said, "I have cancer." And then she started laughing. What did you think about that? I thought that was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
So Kelly started researching and discovered a local laughter yoga group.
Breathe in and laugh out. That dopamine gets released, and then all of a sudden I start to feel better.
When he wasn't cracking up during traffic congestion while working as a transit driver, Kelly found himself chortling through life's inevitable challenges.
Laughter was something that saved my life.
So Kelly decided to pay it forward by teaching, before being encouraged to try competing.
What if there was a sport dedicated to spreading contagious joy?
After participating in 8 chortle challenges, including most diabolical laugh, Kelly won the Canadian Laughter Championships before qualifying to compete in the Worlds.
Canada, what's your best self-laugh?
After facing off on Zoom against a gang of global guffaws from Russia to South Africa in categories ranging from sexiest laugh to crying laugh, Kelly made it to the final round, and after laughing at himself for more than 55 seconds, was crowned world champion.
It was very gratifying to find out that my laughter is the most contagious in the world.
And while Kelly's dad didn't live long enough to see his son's success, he's no doubt proud his boy grew up, like Santa, to share his joyful gifts with the globe. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.